Hello boys and girls, welcome to the first English class of term 2. So we are reading from our Learning Ladders all-in-one book, term 2. Turn to page number 5 and you would see unit 5. The title of the story is A Visit to Remember. You may have read through this story or your teacher must have taught you this. So I'm going to just give you a quick summary of what this story is about. So this is about two tourists, Michael and Vanita from the United States, who visit India for the first time. And where do they go? They go to the city of Mumbai. And when you go to a new place, you always have a travel guide to guide you around the place, to explain to you everything that you see. So likewise, Michael and Vanita also have a travel guide called Vishwas. And Vishwas is taking them to a special place today, and that is to visit the Varli tribe. And the Varli tribe is settled on the outskirts of Mumbai. And when the team reaches there, they are quite surprised to see that it was not like a village that they were expecting to see. It was just a community of people living in houses that looked different from the houses they used to see in the city. These houses were not made of bricks and cement like usual, but with mud and cow dung and branches. These were little huts. And these little huts that are very close to each other are also red in color. And on the walls of these buildings, of these huts, there are paintings that are white in color, and that is the Varli art. And Vishwas explains to Michael and Vanita that this art dates back to 2500 to 3000 BC. It is an ancient art. Earlier, the women folk used to regularly do this. Now lesser and lesser people do it, and they usually do these paintings only on special occasions now, for festivals, for weddings and stuff like that. So when you read through this, we also get to experience what that tribe is like and what their art is like. So we see that these paintings are made of geometrical shapes. So the human figures look like stick men. So they use geometrical shapes like circles, triangles and squares, and some of these shapes denote something. They stand for something. For example, if it is a circle, it usually stands for sun or the moon. If it is a triangle, it represents a mountain, and if it's a square, it's a piece of land. So they have these special meanings attached to these shapes as well. And do you know that they don't use the normal paint and the normal painting brush to do these paintings? They have a special paint that they make out of mixing flour, water and glue. They also don't use the normal painting brush. Instead, they take a bamboo stick and they chew on one side till it looks like a brush, and then they use it for the paintings. So the paintings are not all perfect, it's all crude. And another very interesting painting they come across, and that is the painting of a Tarpa dance. Now this is a special dance done by the Varli tribe. So if you can see, look at this picture. You can see a person in the middle holding a trumpet-like instrument. That instrument is called Tarpa, and there are people around this person dancing. So they have arranged themselves in concentric circles. So this is how a Tarpa dance happens, and this is also depicted in some of their paintings. When you turn to page 8, Vanita asks this important question to Vishwas. In these modern times, when the younger generation moves out, what will happen to their art? What will be its future? And Vishwas gives a very fitting reply. He says that it is very possible that this art form will die out if it is not preserved. A person named Soma Mashe and his son Balu Mashe took up Varli painting purely for the love of this art, and they got this art patented so nobody can copy it without permission, and a lot of designers use the designs on their clothing and different other articles that are for sale. Michael and Vanita have a wonderful time at this place, and they take pictures with some of the tribal people, and they also buy some amazing gift items for their family and friends back in America. And along with Michael and Vanita, we also have a very good experience as if we went and met these tribal people, and we got to know a lot about the Varli art. At the end of this lesson, we have a list of words and their meanings that are given. Go through each of these words and their meanings and understand them, and try and use those words in your sentences. That's important for those words to stick in your memory. I'll give you an example. Fascinating. Fascinating means interesting or appealing. Let's use that in a sentence. This story that we just read is a very fascinating story of two tourists visiting India for the first time. Let's look at another one. Scribbled, wrote carelessly or fast. Let's use that in a sentence. As the teacher was teaching in the class, the students scribbled down the notes. There are some exercises that are given at the end of the chapter. Let's look at the first one. Learn words. Find and write down a smaller word hidden in the given words. So there are a set of words given, and from the longer word you have to find a smaller word that is hiding in it. Example, slaughter. What can you find there that is hiding? A smaller word. Laugh. That's right. Number 1, compassion. Can you see the underlined word? I have solved it for you. It is pass. That is hiding in the word compassion. Number 2, compromise. What's the word that is smaller than that is hiding in this word? Promise. Number 3, fortitude. What is a smaller word? Fort. Number 4, forbearance. Can you see the word bear hiding in this bigger word? Number 5, abstain. The smaller word is stain. Number 6, abate. The smaller word is ate. Moving on, find the words in the story that have the opposite meaning of the following words. Number 1, isolated. The word that has the opposite meaning to isolated that is used in this passage is crowded. Number 2, old-fashioned. The opposite is modern. 3, imperfection. Opposite word is perfection. Number 4, boring. The opposite word is fascinating. Number 5, scarce. The opposite is abundant. Number 6, older. The opposite is younger. Number 7, past. The opposite word is present. Number 8, hate. The opposite word is love. After this, there is a comprehension section where there are 8 questions that are asked from the passage. So when you read those questions and try to answer them, you will understand if you comprehended or understood this passage. So go ahead and do that. And then you have a true or false section. So you have to state against each statement if it is true or false. If it is false, then you have to come up with a true statement. I'll give you an example. 1. Michael and Vanita were disappointed to see the Varli art. Is that true? No. So it is false. How do you make a true statement out of it? Michael and Vanita were excited to see the Varli art. So likewise, we have 5 questions that are given there. So answer them if they are true or false. If it's false, make it into a true statement. Now we move on to the grammar section. Today we are going to learn about pronouns. Pronouns are those words that are used instead of the noun or the name. For example, I, you, me, he, his, they, them, it, us, etc. So these are words that you use instead of repeating the same nouns. For example, Jack and Gia were bored at home. So Jack and Gia are going out for a picnic. So instead of keeping on repeating Jack and Gia, their names, you can use a pronoun instead. You can use they. Jack and Gia were bored at home, so they are going out for a picnic. Let's look at the exercise. Replace the nouns with suitable pronouns in the following sentences. 1. Mrs. Reena teaches us English. Mrs. Reena lives in my neighborhood. Instead of repeating Mrs. Reena twice, you can replace the second one with a suitable pronoun, which is she. Mrs. Reena teaches us English. She lives in my neighborhood. 2. John came home early. John was tired. Replace John with he. John came home early. He was tired. Number 3. Alia has long hair. Alia likes to keep it tied. Replace Alia with she. Number 4. I saw an elephant at the zoo. The elephant was huge. When it comes to an animal, you can replace it with the pronoun it. I saw an elephant at the zoo. It was huge. Dinesh is the most intelligent student in our class. Dinesh scores the highest marks. Now you replace the second Dinesh with he. He scores the highest marks. Let's move on to the next one. Underline the pronouns in the sentences given below. So in these sentences you have to spot the pronouns and underline them. Some of these sentences have two pronouns. 1. What is his name? His is a pronoun. What are you doing here? You is a pronoun. 3. He is my cousin. If you notice, he and my are both pronouns. 4. I don't like reptiles. What is the pronoun here? I. 5. He loves to play football. He is a pronoun here. 6. She is my sister. Again, there are two pronouns, she and my. Personal pronouns stand for a particular person. First person, second person or third person. For example, I, you, he, etc. are called personal pronouns. Let's look at an exercise that is connected to personal pronouns. We have to select the appropriate or the correct personal pronoun from the options that are given. 1. Dash am Lila's sister, we or I. Since you have am there, it is very clear that the pronoun we have to select is I. I am Lila's sister. 2. Dash are going for a picnic, they or them. They are going for a picnic. 3. Let Dash go and play outside. Let us go and play outside. We don't say let we. The correct one is us. 4th one, Dash have a dog named Scooby. I or she. Since we have there, we have to use I, not she. We don't say she have, we say she has. So the correct answer is I. I have a dog named Scooby. Number 5, Dash has an appointment with the doctor tomorrow. He or I. There is a has there. So it cannot be I, it is he. He has an appointment with the doctor tomorrow. 6, I asked Dash to come to the party. He or him. I asked him to come to the party. 7, Dash are close friends with the Kumars. We or I. Here we cannot say I are. We have to say I am. So the correct answer is we. We are close friends with the Kumars. Number 8, Pushpa's father has brought a gift for Dash. She or her. The answer is her. Pushpa's father has brought a gift for her. Now we've come to the Learn to Communicate section. There are two parts to this. One is listening and speaking and the other is writing. So under listening and speaking, we have this exercise. There's a list of words that are there and I will read it out and you have to find two words that have the same meanings. Such words are called synonyms. So there are two words that are synonymous and you have to pick out those two words and use them in sentences. Let's see. Miniature, mannequin, small. The two words with the same meanings are miniature and small. Both mean the same thing. Number 2, offend, protect, defend. The two synonyms here are protect and defend. As an example, let me use that in a sentence. Let's use protect first. Our soldiers protect our country. The same way you can use defend. Our soldiers defend our country. Number 3, skinny, slimy, slippery. The synonyms are slimy and slippery. Now go ahead and use them in sentences of your own. Number 4, somber, serious, official. Here the two words that mean the same are somber and serious. Number 5, freedom, liberty, bondage. The two synonyms are freedom and liberty. So I've underlined all of these synonyms for you. Take a look. Moving on to the next section of writing. Look at this picture and study the action that is going on. Write down your observation of the picture. Clearly, this is a Varli art on Tarpa dance. So look at this picture and think of what you can observe here and make a short article on that. This is the second story in the same unit. It's called The Young Man and the Monster. You must be familiar with the Vikram Vetal stories. This is one of those. So Vikramaditya was a kind-hearted ruler who ruled long time ago. And there was this tree spirit called Vetal that used to trouble a lot of his people. So one day a sage came to the king and said, You have to protect the people and you have to catch hold of this tree spirit and finish him. So Vikramaditya sets out to catch Vetal. And when he reaches there, Vetal jumps on his back and says, I'm going to tell you a story. It is like a riddle, and if you give me the right answer, I will let you go, or else I will kill you. And Vetal tells Vikramaditya a very interesting story. So that is what this lesson is about. The story that Vetal is telling Vikramaditya. An old man was once traveling through a forest, and out of nowhere a monster jumps out of the bushes, and he says, I'm going to kill and eat you unless you give me something better. And the old man says, give me some time, I'll go back and give you something that is healthier than me, and he escapes. And he goes to his son and says, I want to live, I don't want to die, so why don't you take my place and go to the monster and be his food. So the son laughs at the father and says, all right, I'll do that. And he goes to the forest, he fights with the monster, kills the monster and comes back home. And at this point, Vetal stops his story and asks King Vikramaditya, now tell me, O king, why did the young boy laugh after hearing his father's request? Answer me correctly or I shall kill you. The king answered, the young boy laughed as he understood how selfish and cruel the ways of the world were. His own father was ready to sacrifice his own blood in order to save himself. The truth made him even stronger, and thus he was able to defeat the monster easily. So that is what this story is about. Interesting one, isn't it? So we have a set of word meanings. Go through those words and use them in sentences. We have a few exercises after that. Let's look at the first one. Learn words. Find words in the story which have the same meaning as the following words. So as you read this passage, you have to look out for the words that mean the same as these words. 1. Valiant. A similar word that is used in this passage is brave. 2. Fair. A synonym or the similar meaning word that is used in this passage is just. 3. Dictator. Something that is very close to that is ruler or king that is used in this passage. Number 4. Caring, kind. Number 5. Problem, trouble. Number 6. Dreadful, terrible. After that, you have a comprehension section with a lot of questions. Answer them. That will help you to understand the passage better. Moving on to the grammar section. In this lesson, we are learning about a kind of pronoun called possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns are used to depict ownership. They tell us to whom the modified noun and pronoun belongs. Example, those are his wickets. Now, his is a possessive pronoun because it shows us the ownership of the wickets, which is the noun here. The other one is my pen has been stolen. Whose pen? My pen. So, my is the possessive pronoun. Can I use yours? Now, yours is again showing ownership. So, yours is the possessive pronoun here. Let's look at the exercise that's given. Fill in the blanks using appropriate possessive pronouns from the given options. 1. That's dash pen. Give it back. Your or my. That's my pen. Give it back. 2. She has broken dash leg. Her or his. She. So it is her leg. She has broken her leg. 3. My toy car is not working. But dash is hers or theirs. The appropriate one here is hers. Our car is cheap, but dash is expensive. Theirs or your. If it was yours, you could have used yours also, but the appropriate one here is theirs. Our car is cheap, but theirs is expensive. Number 5. You can do whatever you want with the bat. It is all dash. Yours, mine. Here the person is giving away the bat to someone, so you have to say it is all yours. 6. My phone has better features than dash. Yours, ours. The more appropriate one here is yours, considering this is a conversation. My phone has better features than yours. That brings us to the end of the lesson. See you soon.